Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's webinar on Thinking Like a Leader. I think it's really great for anyone who is jumping in tonight because, you are all in such a great position with LuLaRoe, positioned as leaders already or to be leaders. We keep talking about like how many people are in this company. Are we saturated or not? We are growing like crazy. So people are joining and they're going to join with you, and you are going to need to lead them. And whether, some people get into this like thinking, I want to be a leader. Some people have no idea or never think that's going to happen. And then it happens. You may feel like it's accidental, but it really may not be. So anyway, there's a lot of elements of leadership. And I think what helps people grow into being great leaders within this company that I just wanted to share. And this really applies like whether you are a coach in the queue, a trainer in the queue, whether you have one person under you or no people and you are working on getting some people under you. Leadership is not only about leading the people under you, it's about leading your peers. With everything that we do, it's really important to be being a great example, and leading others to have, great morale and, further their businesses really helps all of us as a LuLaRoe sisterhood. So with that in mind, I invited my friend Susan to chat with us tonight. Susan and I first met I think we must have met at convention last year, right?
Probably.
That was my first big LuLaRoe event. Susan and I are both directs under Amanda. So we are like parallel lines, I guess you would call it. She has an amazing team that really, truly respects her. She is a great example of, being a leader of culture and, successful consultants. And I think we just hit it off from the beginning and kind of had that, we're in this same place at the same time mode. And I really trust her and look up to her. So I just wanted her to be here and talk to you guys tonight. So
thank you. You're so sweet. I love Kara, and a lot of times if I just need to talk to somebody who's like not my upline and not my downline, Kara is my person. So I know that you guys love having her as your leader. So she's super awesome. I am in Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't really have that much of an accent. I don't know if your team is kind of spread out, but I'm kind of neutral.
We are spread out now. Yeah.
I'm kind of neutral on the accent, but I'm married to another Raleigh guy. We have been married for 16 years and we have 3 kids. 2 of them I homeschool and 1 goes to middle school. And I have a fine arts background. I do not have any kind of business background. I like to make things and sell them. So this is a whole new thing for me. But I love that the whole time part of making things is not part of it. So anyways, all that to say, I am not naturally a business person. So I don't know if that speaks to any of y'all. I just love women and I love the friendship and community. And so the leading part of that kind of comes naturally because it's just relationship driven. I found LuLaRoe on Instagram, Amanda Lucero, our upline. We were following each other as homeschool moms, and I loved that she had a skirt with pockets and that she was traveling. That was like the picture that intrigued me. And so I listened to the opportunity call and called the next morning and ordered my clothes. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I had never seen the clothes. I didn't know what any of it was, but there
was no queue. There was no going to a pop-up. There was no like packages. It was like
something was coming.
Let's just make this order.
Yeah, sure, it sounds good. I don't like maxi skirts, but we'll go with it. So we got the clothes on a Monday, and on Saturday I had a launch, and the only way I knew how to do that was to watch some old videos that Sadie had made about what a pop-up looked like. And so I just kind of copied whatever I was seeing. And basically all my people came and supported me. Like, they didn't know what they were coming to do, but they supported us. And after about 3 pop-ups, my husband was like, we need to talk about LuLaRoe because this is crazy how much women love these clothes. And I was like, really? Like, I was like, oh, okay. And after every pop-up, I'd come home and he'd be like, this is crazy. Like, these ladies love the clothes and they're begging you to do the pop-up. So anyways, after a lot of pop-ups and cruise qualifying, so after about 10 months of a lot of hard work, Brooks was able to quit his job at the bank and come home and do this with me full time. So we've been doing that together since November. And we still are married and we still like each other. We actually have a lot of fun. I'm super thankful. He's totally left brain. Well, sort of. He's like smart IT guy, and then I'm artsy fartsy. So we blend well together. So out of all that, this team has grown, and figuring out how to lead a team was super scary to me. I didn't want to ever tell people that they were thinking wrong, or like being like squash them for thinking or saying something that maybe felt negative. But it seemed like the best way for me to lead was by example. And so I'm not falsely cheerful. I'm just pretty like normally cheerful, and then put a little humor in there, hopefully sometimes, and it feels like the real me. And so I feel like the way that I've been able to create a team where nobody is like derailing on weeks like this week, maybe. So
I feel like, I don't know, maybe we have similar teams, because I feel like we don't get quite the level of drama that I, see people talking about in other groups and all of that. So I think, hopefully we're doing a good job.
Yeah. Good job, girls.
Do you think that did you ever think that you were going to have a team of the size that you do?
No. So last January, I had 5 girls on my team, and I like squeaked into the very first leadership. I should have brought my wine. You didn't tell me.
Oh, it's been a long day here.
I squeaked into the very first leadership. So I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I felt so like just out of like, that was not me to be leading people. So we tell our girls, once you get to like 5 on your team, you start seeing this like snowball, and it just naturally really starts to grow. And then all of a sudden you're a trainer, and then before you turn around, all of your girls are starting to grow teams. And so you're teaching. I think that's where I really had to start stretching and growing as a leader, was teaching those girls how to teach girls, and like making sure that I was not assuming that they would know how to do it, and not assuming that they would, like, not that you have to cover all the bases, but there are certain things that you really got to make sure that you're not leaving them behind on. So that was a real stretching and growing time for me.
So like, what do you think, so I thought that we could talk a little bit about this. So for those of you that have not been to a leadership yet, when you go, you are going to hear about something called the dreaded drama triangle. And I have, been to a few different LuLaRoe events, convention, and 2 leaderships, and, regional meetings. And I didn't get it the first time. I really didn't. I was like, what are they talking about? How does this apply to my business? I really didn't know. It took a little while, but, now it's something that I start to think about. I really try to think about every day. And I know that, Susan, you've, talked about this, done some trainings for your leaders and stuff. So what does that mean to you, and how do you think that people should apply that as they start to lead people?
So I think probably all of us, our human nature, it would probably automatically be to revert in a lot of cases to being a victim, or if you're not being a victim, then probably you're being a rescuer. So like if Kara comes to me with a problem, my nature is I want to fix it for her, which is me wanting to like make it easy and fix it, and like, let's move forward. Like, let's let's not work on ourselves and get all like huggy and all that. Like, let's just fix it and move on. And then as a victim, a lot of times, you know, it's, I really needed leggings for this big event that we're going to next week. And, you know, I'd been planning on it for so long, and now I'm not going to be successful. And so it's so easy to fall into either one of those things.
There's been a lot of victims lately, I think. We've all been victims lately, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like you have to decide almost before the situation happens, I'm not going to go there. You know, like, probably Audrey's not going to make it through this launch. So I'm just going to go ahead and decide, okay, let's, you know, keep going. And so it's kind of a decision a lot of times, like right before or right in the moment, I'm not going to go there. What's the third one, Kara? That's the one I always forget. Victim, rescuer,
persecutor.
Yeah. So like, that's like, if you're a victim, you feel like LuLaRoe is persecuting you, or your upline is persecuting you, like, you know. So that, I don't know, that's
a really big thing, what you just said, like people feeling like LuLaRoe is persecuting them. I feel like, you know, if you guys feel that way and you can't get that out of your head, you know, that's something you really have to work on and, you know, talk about with me or your sponsor, or another leader that you respect, because I really feel like the people that have emerged as leaders in this company have, you know, feel like we are partners with LuLaRoe. Mm-hmm. So even when we don't understand what's going on, like, I know it sounds cheesy and we say it all the time, like, you know, trust LuLaRoe, LuLaRoe has our backs. Mm-hmm. We say that because we have come out of these situations on the other side, and because we have the privilege of knowing Mark and Deanne and the family, and, you know, spending time with them, and really having, like, I just truly believe that they, you know, have their hearts in this and their best intentions. So, you know, we're not making it up. Yeah. You know, so even though like all this tax stuff, like I might not understand it, I'm not a CPA and I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to argue with any of you guys or our customers about what taxes they should or not should be paying, or what I should be charging. You know, that's where I have to say, like, okay, well, LuLaRoe didn't do this to me. You know, this is what LuLaRoe is doing. We are trying to improve. We are trying to be a good corporate citizen. We are being, you know, we are doing this in order to comply. And, you know, I've told people, okay, so if you don't want to shop in we had this issue last night in our team, like our group sale with our, you know, our team sale. And people all of a sudden got up in arms. Well, I want to know where each person is where each team member is located, so I know who to shop with. And I'm like, no. You just don't have to shop tonight if you don't want to, or you can send them a friendly message, and that's that, you know, like, because we don't do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, pit anybody against LuLaRoe. It's just not what I'm gonna do. So,
yeah. So I guess the opposite. So this is the one that always stumps me. So the opposite of a victim is a creator, and I think that's the biggest thing that LuLaRoe will talk about is when we choose to be creators. If there is a challenge, figuring out how can we work through this challenge and be a creator in it. So like my leggings vendor event, I just like ramped up the maxi skirts. It's hippie music festival. They'll do just as well as leggings. You know, that's just a like really small example of being a creator, but that's what they're talking about when they ask us to be creators and not victims.
Right. Or the fact that, okay, so when they said we're going to slow onboarding and it's going to be this really long process, a long wait, well, you know, instead of saying, like, we could all sit here and say, that's not fair, we can't grow our teams as fast as these other people did or whatever. Well, instead, you know, all of these Q Club, you know, pages are popping up, and every team has their page for people in the queue, and every team is, you know, trying to do trainings for these people and keep them engaged. So that is being a creator. You know, seeing a need and filling it. That's another Deanneism I always think about. See a need and fill it, you know. Yeah. But, you know, I think it's just really important to, like, you know, Amanda always says, like, take 3 minutes to have your wine fest, your pity party, whatever, and like move on, you know?
Yeah.
As a leader, there's really no sense in just, you know, beating this stuff. You know, so you always want to, you know, not just the people below you, but the people around you, and sometimes the people above you. It just, when we all, like, there's just no space for belittling and, you know, just, you know, beating on things. But
yeah,
lifting up is really like where it's at.
Yeah.
And you guys can feel free to hop in and ask questions anytime too. There's that little chat function. Gosh, I know I had like other things I probably wanted to ask you about, Susan.
So one thing we had talked about was selling, because I hear you guys are all superstars about selling. Because when Amanda, when Kara and I hopped on the call, I was telling her that we had to take this week off for selling for just lots of reasons. And once you're at a point where you feel like you can do that, it's a good place to be, and to not let it like completely run your lives. Because the thing I always think about is Deanne saying, LuLaRoe works for you, you don't work for LuLaRoe. So if you ever feel like you need to step back, then that's okay. And remember that it's your business, and that, you know, you have to keep your why in the middle. And then sometimes, like, my why with my family is like, I can't let all this take over that. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and another like big thing that we hear about at the leadership trainings is LuLaRoe really wants us to lead based on the premise of servant leadership. So a lot of times that means, you know, putting your own business aside because you have to help your team. Anything you can do to serve your team is going to help everyone more in the long run. And it's just so true. And it really, you know, it serves them more, and it serves you more. So, you know, definitely something to think about is like how you're going to balance your time. And I'm not saying like everyone has to pull back and like not be a superstar stellar, but kind of just, there are going to be times when you might not be able to do it as much because you are trying to do all these things for your team. And that's not a bad thing. I am a big fan of saying in every opportunity call, and to everyone who's interested in leadership, that, you know, I went to school for engineering. That's what my background is. And I was a chemical engineer for 6 years. And I just didn't like my particular job and what I was doing. I really wanted to have kids and stay home with them. And I just knew that doing that job full time was not what I wanted to do. And I just never had any desire to like move up the ranks or anything. You know, a couple of years later, after having kids, started with LuLaRoe, all of a sudden I feel like I have way more professional and personal development opportunities than I had, you know, in a large corporation, which is crazy. You know, a large, well-established, like, you know, very well-established, very well-known corporation. And I have more opportunities here because LuLaRoe challenges me to organize my time for myself and for you guys, and to put together trainings, and to create a culture, and to, you know, keep people challenged and motivated. And I'm not saying I do all of that great right now. You know, it's a learning progress. Like we're all new at this. It's crazy. Like I mean, we're a year and a half in, right? And it's like, so we're all learning as we go. And that is just like a great and wonderful challenge. And I've just never like imagined feeling like a businesswoman in my previous job. I just didn't even want that. So it's really amazing, I think.
It is. One thing when you were talking about that, it made me think about something I encourage my girls that are coming into leadership is to really try not to ever miss any events. I think that is the best way for you to be able to teach the culture of LuLaRoe, and why you trust Deanne and Mark, and why you believe in the partnership with LuLaRoe. That's the best way to be able to teach that to your team. And so, like, I am always like, you will not ever regret it, and do whatever you can to get to anything that you're invited to. I've never missed anything, like never. Cruise, leadership, anything that I can get to, I don't miss. And I really think that's a big part of helping me be successful, because anytime that I need like that boost, or, that re-encouragement, or I have a teammate that needs it, and then she comes with me to California. It's like all the light bulbs go off, and I'm like, oh, my work is done. Like, you can go and teach your team now. So that, I think, is huge if you're building a team, to really try to get your girls to
it's going to be so great for you guys. Yeah, I mean, I think I just like, I just think, like, how crazy is this? How lucky are we that we have these opportunities to, be able to go and spend this time, learning at our headquarters and, from our founder. It's something that I don't know that everyone is going to have down the line. And, if we have this opportunity, you just really see how tight-knit the culture, they want the culture to feel. Now, Susan has a whole page that's kind of just dedicated to teaching the LuLaRoe culture, which I think is pretty amazing. So, I mean, we always talk about it. I mean, how would you describe it? Like, what do you want people to know about the LuLaRoe culture?
Oh gosh. I mean, like, the whole motto of like strengthening families and blessing others, if I feel like the really cool thing is that can start really small. So if you're strengthening your own family, you're already doing half of the LuLaRoe mission statement, which I think is pretty amazing, that they're not asking us to be amazing. Like, that is amazing. And then the blessing others, for me, has been key to, I don't know if any of you struggle with the comparison and all of that, and like feeling like I need to do better, or I need to be better, or I'm not that consultant, and all of those comparisons. Like, if you don't struggle with that, like, congratulations. Because I mean, like, I know I do, and I know a lot of my team does. And something that my husband's been really, that he's really taught me, is that once I changed my focus off of myself and it turned towards my team and those girls becoming successful. I mean, I wanted that, but when it became them being blessed, when that component of the mission statement clicked into place, is when all that comparison stuff really fell away, and just my focus on them, it was so powerful for me. So that's
you're talking about servant leadership, like, wanting for others more than for yourself,
Yeah,
I think it's so huge.
Yeah, but it's so doable. Like, those are very, like, doable things. They're choices, but they're very doable things that we get to do. I mean, like, our team page is like, I love going into Pinterest and finding quotes that are fun or funny or inspirational, and then we'll do, like, we'll comment on them, we'll cheer each other on. There's some humor sometimes. I do a giveaway on Fridays for participating in, like, a roll call type Friday, just where we kind of get to know each other. So stuff like that.
Back on my game, Susan.
What'd you say?
I need to get on my game.
Yeah, make her start the giveaways, y'all. We do. I mean, it's really simple stuff. I'm doing a team challenge in April. I'll tell y'all what it is because I love it. I'm giving away a fair trade purse, so it's like everybody really wants the purse. So it's like, you got to make them want it. But they have to read The Power of TED, which is the book that describes the triangle that we were talking about. And then they have to read Policies and Procedures, because I don't know about y'all, but a lot of the questions you get asked, if you can just say, go read Policies and Procedures, and they can find the answer for themselves. And then the third thing is they have to be able to tell their why to their sponsor or their upline, just because, like, for me, that's something I struggle with. And so I think it's really good for some girls to have to work through that and really remember it. And I don't know if you guys have been to the Inspire training, but my biggest takeaway was when Lindsay Wheeler came to talk to ours, and she said that she shared her why, and she said, my why is so important to me that no holy leggings and no back orders are going to keep me from that why. And that's been super powerful for me to, like, stay focused on, why am I doing this, and why is it worth putting, like dealing with this and working through all these challenges.
Not about the leggings.
Yeah, but it's so good to be reminded, you know. So that's my challenge for April, just as an example.
So I copied you because I knew what your challenge was. Well, a little bit. I modified it a little bit. So
you tell me what you're doing.
You can copy me next month if you want.
Okay.
I extended it to our people in the queue. So I announced this on our queue page that they had to read The Power of TED and ask their sponsor for the policies and procedures and the etiquette and schedule a 15 to 30-minute phone chat with their sponsor and talk about their whys. And then at the end of the month, I would pick one pair to each win a $100 Amazon gift card.
Oh, that's so good. Way to one-up me. That's awesome. I did it in the queue, but I'm only giving them a t-shirt.
Oh. You know what? Because I wanted to do like what, you know, home office is really talking about, like having those getting those relationships going between the sponsor and the recruit, because that's been such a big thing that people are kind of joining and not really knowing who they're joining with and all of that. So
that's awesome.
You know, wanting people to like engage early on. So
that's great.
But I like your social media challenges too. So I might have to steal.
Yeah. Those are hard. They really make you think about getting dressed.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? People don't realize, but like if you're struggling to, you know, build your business to like book pop-ups or attract the right people to build team members, a lot of that is just being positive on social media and like making a habit of doing it every day can really have, you know, this like boomerang effect. So
that's great. I think May is going to be fun with it being our birthday. So I'm really trying to think through what to do for May, because I feel like it could be something birthday related.
Okay, so you need to like get on me to like make sure I post something for May.
Okay, I will. We'll do it together.
We should do it together. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think we touched on a lot of really important topics of just getting your head out of the drama, and you know, just being that good example and thinking of yourself, even if you know what, even if you think that you're so far down the line or not a trainer yet or whatever, I think that if you can just get in the mindset of being like, I'm a partner with LuLaRoe. I mean, like, don't think like, oh, well, they, you know, Deanne knows Susan and Kara. It's different. Like, it's not. If you can think of yourself as being a partner with LuLaRoe, I think that will really reflect in how you treat your business and, you know, the type of people that you attract to your customer base and to your team. You know, and just thinking about everything you do as, you know, wanting to build up your, you know, team and your fellow consultants and serve people. I think that, you know, as soon as I wish I could think of how, you know, Art said it last time, but it's just like the moment you turn from like thinking about it to being about yourself to being about serving the people below you, like just you find your efforts just, you know, multiply so much more.
Yeah.
It's just truly a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, get out there, serve others. Think about that. You know, think about this like amazing opportunity that we have every day that is just really still just beginning.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's totally worth it.
It is worth the work. Like this, I mean, did you think that this was just going to be like something on the side? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like, and we always laugh about the time that my father-in-law was like, well, you know, this is a cute phase, or this will last for a little while and then move on. And like, I kind of was like, okay, you know, and like, it's crazy to think that this is supporting our family and, you know, giving us the opportunity to really give forward. Like, as a woman, like, I used to not be able to, I mean, not as a woman, let me rephrase that. As a stay-at-home mom, I used to not be able to provide financially at all for our family. And just that now I can give forward to other people, even outside of my family, and have the means to do that is so powerful to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when I see like, you know, the same for my family and like, you know, the people on my team that are, you know, gaining that, it's like, I just want to keep serving them, you know, to make it even better for them. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, somebody's unboxing your initial order.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Upward.
Every time I see somebody's initial order, I want to like quit and reorder.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I want all of
I
those.
have my order list right here. This is my next task. Go place my order.
Oh wait, do you really keep up with your stuff that well?
I do. So like at every party or after an online sale, like this is my tally sheet.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I know do you need this?
My brain just exploded.
It's very
I go
simple.
like this. I'm like, oh, we're low on mediums. Let's order some. That's literally. That
happens too. Somehow, even though I keep track, it's like all of a sudden, like a couple of weeks later, I'll be like, how come I have no small plastic teas? Like, like I thought I ordered them.
They're all in your closet. That's why.
Probably. That could be. So, anyway, yeah. Yes, exactly. Well, thank you for being with us. I hope that some of you get to meet Susan at our next leadership training.
Yeah, I would love to meet y'all. That would be so fun.
Yeah, well,
hopefully
we'll get our team sitting near each other.
That's right. That would be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so good.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right. Well, thank you.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.